Hey, what's up? So, Marlon Johnson here, aka Mindset Marlon, and today we're going to be talking about this video right here that Patrick Bet David put out a few weeks ago on the 6 weeks that destroy all the momentum of the year. You're going to be watching my reaction to this video because to be honest, I already watched it once, so this is not a first time watching it, but it was pretty powerful. So I wanted to go through this, so let's jump right into it right now. I got $1 billion mindset right now.
This video is only for those of you that love competition. You want to make a name for yourself. You want to compete in the marketplace. Maybe even you want to be a dominator. You want to be somebody that people are saying, this guy is kicking some major ass in the industry he or she is a part of. Let me talk to you. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You know my favorite season of the year is November, whatever it is, the day before Thanksgiving to the first week of January. Here's why. That season produces more people getting casual that become casualties than any other season, including summer. A day before Thanksgiving till about second week of January, people are Thanksgiving mode. They're coming in later. They're going home earlier. They're kicking back. They're relaxing. They're calling in sick on Fridays and Mondays and all this. I've been around the block and I've watched and I saw so many of the people that were way ahead of me when I was a brand spanking new salesperson, when I was a small agency running my insurance office, when I was running a company. I watched everybody. I would say, wow, that guy kicked my ass for 10 and a half months.
So far, I mean, I got to agree with him. Like, I do notice this. This is my third year in business. And I do notice around this time of year, it's right now, December 18th, as you guys can see at the top of my screen. Around this time of year, people do start to slow down. People start to just not want to grind and hustle as much. I do agree with Patrick. So let's keep seeing what he has to say.
But he takes these 6 weeks off. And it's so interesting why he does that. So what happens during that season? That is your season to catch up. You recreate yourself. You realize what new skill sets you want to learn, what new topics you want to study, what new habits you want to pick up. You go buy the courses, you go buy the books, you go take the seminars, you go do certain Zooms. Everybody who is competing at the highest level, they do certain things others aren't willing to do. You may want.
So that's pretty interesting. So what Patrick's saying is during this time of year really should be the time that you're working on yourself. And I got to agree, right? This is the old school tortoise versus the hare sort of situation, right? If you know that story, you know that the rabbit, he sprints out and he's so far ahead of the tortoise that along the way he decides, I'm going to stop and just lay here and take a nap under the tree. Meanwhile, the tortoise just steadily keeps on trotting along. So for those of you that are feeling that somebody else is way ahead of you, that this person's got years and years and years of advantage on you, you got to ask yourself, are you taking a break right now? Are you imitating the hare's behavior when you're in fact a tortoise? And there's nothing wrong with being a tortoise, just recognize. So I like that Patrick's saying go and build the skills, go and put in that time. 6 extra weeks while someone else is vacationing, you can be grinding.
Watch this video right now and you don't even like this video because you're like, well, Pat, why are you saying this to me? It's Christmas. I'm supposed to take the time off. I'm supposed to be kicking back. Don't you take Christmas off? Don't you take Thanksgiving off? Don't you do any of this stuff?
Well, you know what? So here's one thing, right? Pat's talking about when people start comparing themselves to others and they're saying like, well, Patrick, don't you take the days off? Don't you vacation? Well, first off, guys, like, what does someone else's level of success have to do with you? What does someone else where the other person's at? It's more about where are you at? What are you doing? Have you earned that vacation yet? Because I know that right now you might be tired, you might be weary, but until you've crossed that finish line, you've got to keep going. See, there's some mentality that got lost, and I don't know when it got lost because it seems it's always been here, but there's this mentality of, it should already just be here. And our parents and our grandparents, they knew about hard work. They knew about going and just hustling. They knew about the law of sowing and reaping. They knew that if I didn't go out and I didn't plant in the fall, if I didn't go ahead and put those seeds down, there would be nothing to harvest in the springtime. There would be nothing to harvest in the summertime. So it's important that you recognize that you don't get to stop until the job is done.
Yes, I do, but I have a different mindset around it. I was being interviewed by another podcaster, YouTuber, and he's here interviewing me. Up to Sean Cannell. He says, Patrick, you agreed to do the podcast with me today. I'm interviewing you. I flew out to Florida to interview, but today's your birthday. I said, yeah. He says, why are you at the office?
Man, check this out. Patrick Bet David, this guy is worth how many hundreds of millions of dollars? Millions. You guys see this 3.75 million subscribers on Valuetainment YouTube. He's got agencies and businesses and investments. Like, this guy can kick back and chill. And on his birthday of all days, he's still getting up. He's still going to work. He's still making it happen. So that's insane. It's incredible. And sometimes we do this. We use any excuse to stop working. Well, what happens if you start to develop into the person who keeps going no matter what?
I said, what's the big deal? He said, it's your birthday. I said, it's another day for me. What do you mean? Let me explain it to you. If the government tells me what days to take off, that means the government's my boss. The government doesn't dictate what days I take off. I decide what days I take off because I'm a leader. I don't need you to tell me it's Memorial Weekend, take Monday off. I don't need you to tell me it's Labor Day. I don't need you to tell me.
Wow, that's huge. So he says the government does not tell me when to take off. That's a big one. If you think about that, like, what are our holidays really, right? Like, you've got all these holidays that pop up in September and October and November, and we get giddy as heck to stop working. However, why are we getting so excited? Because someone else came and told us that, hey, you can stop working. Think about that. If you're an entrepreneur, if you work for yourself, if you go out and you solve problems, why are you allowing someone else to tell you when to start and stop working? Because if you can let them tell you when to stop, it also means you're allowing them to tell you when to start. So what's up with that? I thought you wanted to have freedom. And I love Patrick's view on this. So let's keep going.
Tell me it's Thanksgiving. I don't need you to tell me any of that stuff. You know where I was Thanksgiving? The day after Thanksgiving, Friday? I was here all day. And I have my kids here with me. You know where I was at Saturday? I brought them in here. My kids are watching Daddy work, and they're like, wow, Daddy, it's normal to them. And we're spending time together. One of them had to write a phrase 75 times, and the other one had to write another phrase 75 times. One of them had to write both of the phrases 75 times. We're working on ourselves. We're doing a bunch of different things.
Whoa, look at that. Wait a second. He said he had his kids writing out phrases 75 times back to back. Now, I know someone just was like, wait a second, that sounds like punishment. Listen, he's having them work on themselves. When's the last time you did anything for that much repetition? Repetition is what practice. Repetition is what gets you to the next level. Repetition is the mother of mastery. Let's keep going.
But this is your season. And by the way, those of you who were already planning on checking out, guess what? You're about to get passed up. And you know who you are? Because you probably stopped watching the video. But
damn, called you out. So shots fired. If you are somebody that's like, man, I don't agree with this, odds are you probably already stopped watching. And therefore, to be honest, your opinion doesn't actually matter to the crowd of people that are still continuing to watch right now.
Those of you guys that are still glued to the screen and you're like, hell yeah, you're talking to me? Phenomenal. Let's go compete, because the stars who are all of a sudden identified in 2023 are the people who behind closed doors during this season are improving themselves. And if that's you.
Ooh, remember, so this is something that like falls in alignment with, if you're getting rewarded today in public, it means you've been doing something in private, in practice, right? You've been practicing in private, because nobody gets rewarded in public for what they didn't practice in private. When we look at these overnight successes, oftentimes you find it takes 10 years to make. So if you're a part of that crowd, I mean, stand up, leave a comment. Let me know if you're in that crowd of 2023. You're going to absolutely maximize that. The reason people are going to be cheering your name, the reason your family is going to be proud of you, is because of you're putting in the time right now. In the last weeks of December and the last weeks of 2022, you are preparing and getting yourself ready for 2023.
2023 is probably going to be the beginning of the greatest years of your life. If you got value out of this message.
So, guys, if you're getting value here, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. That was my first time doing a reaction video as well. Hopefully that was pretty fun, actually. I like Patrick Bet David's content. Maybe one day I'll find some content that I'm not as huge a fan of to see if there's some sort of conflict I could battle through. But Patrick Bet David, he laid it out there. You guys saw it crystal clear. So let me know what you're going to do with your 2023. Let me know how you're preparing right now, today in 2022, getting ready for that future. And again, if you're getting value, go ahead and subscribe, and leave a comment.